Okay. All right, guys. I am
Hey.
so excited to share with you one of my dearest friends in Plexus, Emerald Ambassador Vicki Brown. She is mom extraordinaire. She's an adoptive mom. She's an amazing leader. My gosh, I mean, the girl just attracts people and signs people, and she's just amazing in this business. But I'm so very excited for you to hear her journey and way back, because she has done 6 other network marketing companies prior to Plexus. She swore off network marketing and came to Plexus and went to Emerald in how many months was it?
18.
18 months. So, if that's not a testament to our compensation plan in our company and our products, I don't know what is. So, Vicki, well, I guess we'll kind of like take this like interview style and kind of wing it. First of all, share with us, what life was like prior to network marketing and why you even like thought about network marketing to begin with.
Okay. First, I would like to apologize for my ensemble. But like Autumn said, I have a few kids. I've got 4 kids, ages, let's see, one just turned 4, my youngest, which is crazy. So 4, 6, 9, and 11. And we had kind of a crazy afternoon. So activewear is my uniform pretty much. So. Okay, so before Plexus, I ran an in-home daycare. I really wanted to be able to help our family income-wise, but there was no way in the world I was going to be able to go to work. We had 2 kids, and daycare was expensive, and I really wanted to be at home with them. My mom wasn't able to be home with me as a kid, and it was really important to me. So, and my husband's a full-time musician, so he travels a lot. At the time, he was gone a lot, and he would have like a really good month and then a really crappy month and then a really crappy month and then a really good month. So we'd have to use those good months to catch up on the bad. And really, I mean, I wasn't making crap, if we're being honest, or running an in-home daycare. Like, I think I was making like $1,000 a month, and that was hardly covering our groceries, right? So I had tried network marketing 6 times and failed miserably at it 6 times. Okay, one time I kind of sort of did okay, and that was with a makeup company, but I'll explain more about why that did not last in a little bit. So Melissa Eichenhorst is my direct upline. We've been friends for 15 years, and she had told me a lot about Plexus. I think I may have hit her on Facebook at one point because I was so annoyed with the fact that I was at home wiping butts all day, and she's walking across the stage in a pretty dress with her hair and makeup and a big $5,000 check. And I'm like, oh, life is so hard. Like, I was just so annoyed with it. I was depressed. I was tired. I was lonely. I longed for companionship from other women and just was having a real time. So my husband and I, our older 2 kids are biological and our younger 2 are adopted. So our 4th one came into the picture. Someone had told us about this sweet little baby boy that needed a mom and dad, and we really wanted to adopt him, but we knew that we couldn't afford to do it. I mean, we could hardly afford to put food on the table, and I was later on a regular basis. So I wanted this baby boy so badly. And I really felt like that's what God was calling us to do. So I called Melissa and talked to her about Plexus. Looked at her. I made her show me every single check that she had ever made, because I wanted to make sure she wasn't just getting some stupid bonus the month that she did to show me her paycheck. And I was blown away. And I thought, you know what? If Melissa can do this, I can do this with her leadership. So I decided to jump all in. First month with Plexus, I made like $750, which was a huge deal for our family, like huge. My 2nd month, I doubled that. My 3rd month, I tripled that. By my 7th month, I was paying all of the bills for our family and crying every single time I got a paycheck. I mean, it was a huge deal for our family, and still is. It's given us an incredible peace and amount of freedom that we would have never. I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't say for sure, but I don't imagine that I would have ever made this kind of money doing anything else. I never finished college, and I never really wanted to go to work at all. So On top of having an incredible income, I've also been able to, get off antidepressants and meet this incredible family of Plexus. And then also I was drinking 3 to 5 Cokes a day. So I was able to cut that out. I was able to quit smoking, sleep better, wake better, and just share the love of Plexus with everyone I know.
Love it. Okay. So if you can share without saying names of companies, like what were some of the products that you have sold in the past?
Well, some of them are slightly embarrassing.
I know that's what I was going to say. Some of them I know you don't want to say, but just say it.
Okay. So I sold toys for women. Like it was like a slumber party company. I mean, it was a good time. That was a lot of parties that I had to do, which sucked because you would get a babysitter and then not make any money and then have to pay for a babysitter. So that was super cool. And I did face wash. I did skincare, which they were actually 2 different companies. I did makeup. I did cleaning products. So pretty much everything mostly.
Except for health products.
I tried making bow holders in my house. I mean, really, like everything.
Okay, so let's talk about, did you truly like look at the compensation of any of these companies and like, did you make any money? And let's just stop there. Yeah, with those questions.
So yes, I did look at compensation plans. I mean, very thoroughly. The interesting thing is that Plexus's compensation plan, I guess maybe complicated is the word, but it's not really complicated. It's more just that we get paid more ways. Like most companies, you make a commission, and then you get bonuses along the way. So did I ever make money at these companies? Some of them, yes. So the makeup company that I was just telling you about, my first month, I did really well at that. I made like $1,200, so more than I made from Plexus in my first month. And I was so excited, y'all. I was freaking out. And they deposited the money into your bank account like immediately. So you would sell something and then your commission would go into your bank account, which was horrible and wonderful because I never really felt like I made any money because I was always spending it as soon as I got it. But beside the point, my second month, I was rearing and ready to go. I had been like shout out central for my first month, sold all this stuff. And then my second month, I didn't have anybody to sell anything to because everybody bought everything the first month. And what they bought the first month, they weren't going to need again for another 6 months. And if they did want it 6 months later, chances are they're going to pick some up at Walmart while they're there buying their groceries. So like the idea of trying to figure out how to sell something that was not highly consumable was really overwhelming to me on how in the world I was going to continue making money. And then not to mention a lot of the companies, well, 2 of them that I worked for, I would get product as a bonus. So like, yay, you get another face cream. Like you only have 7 and it's only going to last you 7 years. Or you can sell it and make some more money as if that's not what I was already trying to do. Like, it's just crazy. Like the payment that I got was nothing compared to Plexus. Nothing. I mean, not even almost.
And those were like bonuses, right? So that we're not talking about a residual income, like what we have.
I mean, a residual income is hard to come by in a company that does not have highly consumable products. And not only do the products have to be highly consumable, and by highly consumable, I mean like within a month's time. Because like I have a friend that works for a skincare company and she does okay, but she has these huge goals. And like one month she was doing like, okay, I have to have $300 in sales by the 3rd and $500 in sales by the 5th, and then $2,000 in sales by the 20th, $3,000 in sales by the 30th, and then I get this bonus, right? So she did it. She worked really hard. I bought from her and supported her, and she made that $3,000 by the end of the month, or made the $3,000 in sales. And then the next month she called me almost in tears, and she's like, no one that ordered last month will need products for at least 90 days. And that's if they decide to keep using it. So it's like with Plexus, people need the products every 30 days and they cannot get it anywhere else. I mean, the only place you can get our probiotic and our multivitamin and our E's and our stuff is from us. You can't get it anywhere else.
That's a really, really good point. Really good point.
Yeah.
So as far as, what it takes, obviously you don't have, we can do parties, but we're not a party-based company. And the fact that we can do this from our phone, what would you, how can I say this? What would you say, what are some of the perks of Plexus compared to some of the other companies that you've done? You've listed some. Is there any more that you can think of?
Yeah. Well, for sure is the fact that we don't have to have parties. That means that I really genuinely do not have to have time away from my family.
But really,
I do.
Oh, I just thought of something. Your gal that had to buy a lot of money, or buy a lot of product, or sell a lot of products. You're talking about basically like PV and Plexus. Like, so in other words, their compensation plan is similar to, or not similar, but they would be equivalent to like our PV. So we'd have to have crazy high PV. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So, she had to have crazy high PV to earn this bonus, and it was a one-time bonus. So she wasn't going to get it again. And she was not going to have that kind of PV again without busting her rear. You guys, let's just be real. Like, my PV is fantastic this month, and it was fantastic last month because I was pushing really hard for the convention check. And, but on a regular basis, my PV is usually under $1,000. So it's not anything crazy. But even if my PV was only $100, I am still going to make a killer income. I am not chasing people down in the grocery store parking lot and begging them to buy my product so that I can reach some ridiculous quota so that I can get paid. I'm going to get paid on my pay points. I'm on my pay points every single month. Like, it's amazing. Like, the pay point thing that we have is completely different from anything I have ever seen. Most companies, you make a straight up percentage of commission and then that's it. And bonuses along the way.
So let's talk like startup costs a bit.
Oh, yeah. Ridiculous, you guys. Absolutely ridiculous. Actually, I'll even tell you this. When Melissa told me how much it was to start, I second guessed starting because I thought if it's that cheap, then I must not be able to make great money. Like, she told me it was only $35 and I was like, well, then I don't want to do that. Like, I need it to be $3,000 so that it can be legitimate. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the fact that it was only $35 was a slight turnoff to me, but now I realize, what a great perk that is for us. It's huge.
So Phyllis,
while I have this in my mind, one of the other things that's different is there was one company that I worked for where as you got higher up in rank, your PV had to go higher. So like, maybe if you had just started out, your PV only had to be $300 and then you would be able to, earn on your whole team. Right. And then as you made it to the next rank, you might need to have $1,000 in PV for you to get paid on your team. And then as you make it to the next rank, you have to have a higher PV to get paid on everyone on your team. If you don't have the high PV, then you get a lower PV. And in that case, you only get paid on a certain part of your team, not all of it. And so it was crazy to me. Like, I remember sitting down and talking to Melissa about the compensation plan and seeing that if you know anything about our compensation plan, you know that you have to have 3,000 pay points to be Sapphire, which is what Autumn is. So you need 3,000 pay points to be Sapphire, and we have our average pay point is about $3. So times $3. Autumn's making $9,000 on her check every single month just from pay points, my friends. Sorry, Autumn, if you don't mind me saying that, but that's insane that she's going to make $9,000 a month. So I was like, oh, well, what does she have to have in PV to get that? And Melissa was like, nothing, just $100. She just has to have her own personal products. And I'm like, there's a catch. Like, there's no way that that's even real life. And sure enough, it is real life. And it blows my mind every time I think about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Plus, like you said, you brought up that there's these hoops you have to jump through in many other companies where then if you don't hit this requirement, you lose out on getting paid on part of your team. And we have what's compression. Do you want to talk about compression really fast?
Yeah, and I don't really know, honestly, Autumn, like how other companies work this. I think that most companies do not offer compression. Like I know for sure that 2 of the companies I worked for did not. The other 4, I'm not really sure because I never got that far into it. But basically what Autumn's talking about is if Autumn were my level 1 ambassador and she did not, and then let's say Autumn's my level 1 and Caroline is my level 2, and Autumn decides that she's like just not really in this thing and she doesn't end up working the business or doesn't end up having her 100 PV, then Caroline's automatically going to come up as my level 1 instead of my level 2. So the fact that Plexus does that for us, I mean, they think about it, like they could totally take Autumn's paycheck as their own, but instead they compress her up and let me have it.
So let's go back quickly to, you were running an in-home daycare, you hit Emerald. And then what happened when you hit Emerald? Like what did life look like at that point for you guys?
I was just like, I was blown away. Like, I mean, I just remember, it makes me almost want to cry thinking about it. Because I remember calling Melissa, the first time I called her crying about my check was my first senior gold check. I mean, my first gold check was like, it blew my mind, but I was like, I've worked hard. Like, okay, maybe I deserve this, right? And then my senior gold check, I remember being like, I do not deserve this. Like, what did I do to make this much money? Like, I could not believe it. I couldn't believe that it was in my bank account. And then it was like every month after that, I would call Melissa crying, like, is this even my real life? How did this happen? So Emerald, at 18 months, let's see, I'll tell you real quickly kind of what my ranking looked like. So 6 months into Plexus, I went Ruby. And then I was at Ruby for 8 months before I promoted to senior Ruby. So senior Ruby was in November of 2015. And then November to December, January, February, March. So 4 months later is when I went Emerald. And Scott, at the time, my husband, he was doing music, which he still does now. But we were in Texas, which he was a pretty well-known recording artist in Texas. So he was making really good money, like probably just as good as my Emerald paycheck. So we went from like rags to riches in like a month. It was that sounds ridiculous, but truly, like we were like, oh my gosh, you guys, we could like go to the movies. Like we can like put gas in my car. Like I don't have to put in 10. I can fill it up. Like, I mean, it was just crazy. And because of that, we lived like that for a few months where I was bringing in that income and Scott was bringing in that income. And then we just at some point decided that Nashville was where we needed to be for Scott's career. And he has worked so hard to support our family up until the point of me making Emerald. And so I'm just like so excited and grateful to be able to provide for my family and to be able to take that pressure off of Scott and for him to be able to do what he loves for a living and for that not to, put so much stress on our marriage. Because we used to fight on the 1st and the 15th of every single month. I mean, it was straight up knock down, drag out 2 to 3 days a month of fighting about money. And I mean, what a beautiful thing it is to not have to have those arguments.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up because that's something vulnerable that not everybody is willing to share, and yet I know so many of us have been there. And it's definitely a tension point in marriages and our lives. So I'm sure people are thinking, okay, Vicki, you did all these companies, you didn't succeed, you come to Plexus. I mean, you went really fast. I mean, what was it? Did you gain amazing training or people skills, or, did you go through some coaching program and jump into Plexus and just have success? What would you say attributes to your success?
Well, there's a couple of things, and most of them are Plexus specific, but I'll tell you first the one thing that's not Plexus specific, and that was just my having a why that was bigger. I mean, I really do believe that if I would have started Plexus, because Melissa approached me 11 months before I started. And I remember once I started, I kept saying, gosh, I wish I would have started 11 months ago. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have started sooner, right? I mean, it would have been better for our family. But looking back, I don't know that I would have been successful 11 months sooner, because I did not have this driving force of this beautiful little baby boy who needed a mommy and daddy, like I just don't know that I ever had enough willpower. So when I joined Plexus, I decided that I was going to be successful, and there wasn't anyone who could bully me or make me feel bad about posting on Facebook. There was not anyone that could tell me no, that would make me want to stop doing what I was doing. I was going to move forward regardless of what anyone said or anyone did. And the people that were negative were going to be proved wrong. And that was, a big decision on my part. So committing to the company. Also, I will say that I have an amazing sponsor, an amazing upline, and so do all of you. So, I mean, if you're on my team, hello, like I'm fantastic. No, I'm just kidding. If you're on Autumn's team, you have an incredible sponsor. You have someone who loves the Lord and loves you and wants what's good for you and would do anything for you. So the fact that you have that kind of support and the support of your team around you, you guys, other companies don't have this kind of support. They don't have a team page where people cheer each other on and love on each other. Can I just say that there's a jewel thread that Melissa has, Melissa Eichenhorst, our upline. She has a jewel thread, and Autumn is in it, and Aaron Bush is in it. We're all in this thread together, right? And I've been pushing for that $2,000 check. And I've had ups and downs in my business, just like all of you have or will have. If you haven't, go ahead and put on your seatbelt because it's a bumpy ride. But I mean, the end result has just been incredible. These jewels in this chat, they love me and I can feel it. And they send me private messages off the thread and just say, Vicki, I am so proud of you. Keep pushing. Don't you stop. I mean, they love on me, you guys. There's no other network marketing company like that. It's all competitive. It's all trying to beat somebody else out of something. And we just don't have that. So I'm super grateful for that. Yeah. I totally forgot what the question was, but there's that.
No, that's good. And that actually kind of segues me into kind of the last question, which is somewhat what you just answered. How is Plexus different than other companies in that way? When you were in these other companies, I mean, how many years ago are we talking, like that you started your first company, would you say?
I mean, I think I did the slumber party thing. When Logan was a baby, and so she's 11.
Okay. So social media wasn't as much a part of it. But, I mean, how was like just the feel and the leadership of these companies? Did you feel that camaraderie and that oneness at all?
Okay. Hold that for just a second, because we were talking. I remember the question that you asked me is what was, what can I attribute my success to in Plexus? One was commitment. One was my sponsor and my team. And then the other was our compensation plan. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And I've talked to tons of people who do other network marketing companies even now. I mean, I have friends that I love dearly that are in other network marketing companies, and I'll just ask them, hey, can we have a meeting and just sit down and talk? Like, I would love to know what your company is doing that's different than ours. And every single time I leave feeling like, man, we have got a good company. Our president and our CEO are amazing, and they love us and they want what's good for us. And they are not willing to skimp on anything. I mean, they just won't do it. So our compensation plan is ridiculous.
And they really listen to us too. I mean, what company has leadership that actually listens and puts their ambassadors first?
I have Alex's number in my phone. And so when there's something, poor thing, I feel bad for him. But if there's something that I don't like, unfortunately for Alec, he's going to hear about it. If there's something that I love, then I'll tell him that too. But yeah, I mean, what president of a network marketing company just gives his number to someone and says, call me if you need something? Okay. He's amazing.
So awesome.
Okay. What was your other question that you just asked me?
Well, you kind of just wrapped it up in that way that, our leadership, I was talking about the oneness, the camaraderie, which is like we're all a big family. Did you feel that family vibe in any other company?
No, never. I mean, it was always a competition, like who would be at the top, who would have the most. And with Plexus, I mean, I came in and you guys, I mean, I know just as much as Autumn does about, probably a little less. Autumn probably knows more than I do about the gut brain connection when it comes to like anxiety and depression. So I knew nothing about that when I first started. I thought I was just going to lose 5 pounds and like beg my friends to join me. But turns out we have like cutting edge scientific products that actually work. And so I was able to wean myself off of the highest dosage of Celexa possible. Celexa is an antidepressant. I was on 60 milligrams. And since my mom had passed away. And with Plexus, when I came in, as much as I think that the probiotic, and I know that the probiotic was able to really just help my brain gut connection, I also really do genuinely believe that this business helped me to get off antidepressants. I mean, I remember standing in my kitchen crying to Scott one day, leaning up against the counter. I mean, I remember exactly where I was and just saying to him, like, I feel so lonely. And I'm sad and I don't know why. And like, I'm so grateful for these kids that we have and for our marriage and our home, but like, I'm not happy and I don't know how to get happy. Like, I don't know what I'm missing. And it was Plexus is what I was missing. I mean, I think all the time whenever I meet lonely mamas, I just think like, come here, come be on my team. Let me love on you and you can be a part of what we're a part of. And so I really do believe, like, while I was not getting a pat on the back for folding a load of laundry or a celebration for unloading the dishwasher, here I come and I sign my first customer and my sponsor goes on her team page and shouts me out. And people start saying, congratulations, how amazing, way to go. And I'm like, they think I'm awesome. And it's only day one. I wonder how many customers I would have to add like in a week for them to think I was like super cool. So I'll be damned. I went out and signed as many customers as I could. And every time I got a shout out. And then so this should be a lesson to you guys too. Shout your people out. Private message them and tell them how great they're doing, but shout them out. Shout them out on the team page and let other people tell them how great they're doing. Because if they are missing as much as I was in my life, it's going to mean more to them than you could ever know.
That is good, girl. That is so good and so true. And I hope you all make changes today because you can't praise people enough. Can't shout them out enough. And one thing I wanted to say in regards to the products, you know, compared to like maybe other opportunities out there, other companies, is that we have products for anyone. Like, and Vicki, you probably saw this, that when you did other businesses, you kind of only had like select people groups. You know, so like when I was approached by a face cream company and I was looking actually at Plexus and a face cream company, and then someone hit me up with an essential oil company, the face cream company, I got thinking, and you know, it's like, it was like at least $100 for this face cream. And I'm thinking, and then it was crazy buy-in. Like it was $500 or $1,000 to buy in and start.
Oh, I gotta know, was it Miriam?
It was, yes.
I did Miriam.
Did you? And so
about the $1,000 package and never made my money back.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But anyway,
so anyway, like I was just thinking, okay, off the top of my head, who would I even like go to approach about this face cream? Like who would spend $100?
Almost no one.
Yeah. And I was like, I already, and then you're supposed to drive like all over God's green earth to go drop off samples to then pick them up 5 days later. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be driving all week long. If I'm going to be successful in this, I'm going to be driving like every day. And this is going to be my life, driving all, and then you're limited because then it's only as far as you can drive. You don't get to, you know, necessarily send samples to someone in Florida or Maine. So there's just so many limitations that we need to be thinking of. And the fact that we have products that are from, you know, for 2-year-olds to 99-year-olds, for anyone and everyone, it's for anyone. There is no just one little people group over here that might want our products. Did any of the companies have money back guarantees? Maybe some, maybe no.
I don't even really know, but I know they didn't have anything like what we have, because if you don't know, you guys, our 60-day money back guarantee is not just like you join today and you have 60 days. It's like Vicki Brown, almost 4 years into this company, could buy, I don't know, Nerve today and use it for 60 days and decide that I don't love it and get a refund for 60 days. Or I could, even for Slim right now, if I wanted to, if I was like, I don't really like Slim anymore, I could call them and tell them I want a refund for the past 60 days of Slim. Don't do that. Okay. But you totally could. Like, our company is awesome. I mean, the money back guarantee that we have is sick. And by the way, real quick on Nerium, I have to say, that's the company that gives you lots of product, like face cream after face cream after face cream, when you don't need any more. And because of that, I was able to trade Melissa a Nerium cream for a bag of Slim. And that was my first try of Plexus.
Oh, I love that. That's so funny. Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we can open it up to a question or two if anyone
sure.
has any questions while we have Vicki here.
Oh, I'll say real quick, while y'all are thinking of any questions you might have. Another great thing, I know we kind of touched on it, is that you don't have to stock products. So like I have a friend that sells Mary Kay, and she has a freaking truck load full of Mary Kay. She carries it in her trunk everywhere she goes so that she can sell it on the go. I have a girl that does lip gloss, and she has lip glosses all in her car, like in a big basket that she sells as she goes places. And I'm like, who in the world? I mean, she spent so much money. I actually met with a girl a couple days ago who has just started doing Plexus, and she was doing a makeup company, and she did the $3,000 to join. And that gave like a huge thing of makeup. And I said, well, how much have you made back in November? And she said that she has made $1,000. And that's how much she's commissioned, was $1,000. And so she spent $3,000. So she's trying to figure out how to make the rest of that money back. But she was like, I go to these parties and I do everyone's makeup. So I have to use my makeup. So I can't sell that makeup. I have to, buy more so that I can do more makeovers. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, that's just crazy. So the fact that we don't have to, I don't have like a cabinet behind me full of Plexus. All I have is my own personal products. It's pretty amazing too.
Yeah, and I can add to that. I have a friend that has a large social media following on, all the social media platforms. She does an essential oil company, and she doesn't get to she's at the very top. She doesn't get to keep her rank because she doesn't have enough PV under all her people. So she has to buy in well over $1,000 of oils. And so she has thousands of dollars of oils sitting in her home that just keep compiling every month. So anyway, it's crazy. We're so blessed to get paid in cash. I mean, I know if I'm going to work hard, I don't want to be paid in product. And the awesome thing is that like in the beginning when I started Plexus, we lived in feast or famine. And so, I mean, I was definitely going to take the products, but if for some reason my husband was out of work and we were pinching pennies, I could get a customer to cover my 100 PV if financially I could not order the products that month. And that's just unheard of, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's actually a lot of companies, one specifically that I told you my friend does the skincare line, and they have to have $100 in personal volume, like from their own orders, and they have to have $100 in customer volume it's like $600 in customer volume before they can get paid, and it won't include their $100 in personal volume. Like they can't put that in with their personal volume. So it is pretty awesome that like we literally only have to buy our own products or get one customer to be able to get paid. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, so we have a question. Okay. How did you balance your home life at the beginning with the hustle of it all?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would say that I wasn't the best at that, if I'm being honest, because I had my face stuck in my phone a lot. Like I know that whenever I went to Jewel training, which this is super cool too. I mean, our company, you guys, they're amazing. Our president and our CEO would stand at the front of the room and say like, if you decide, if you're going to make a decision, you need to check with your shareholders first. So that's your family. Your family is your shareholders, and they have a say in what you do with your time, and just including them in those decisions. And I sat at the table at Jewel training and bawled my eyes out. I don't cry very easily. And I already cried on this meeting, but I always cry on these meetings. I don't know why, but I don't normally cry super easily. And I was like, we were all like getting tissues, like like crying, because we were thinking about, like, you just can't take that time away from your family. The whole point is to spend time with your family. So I would say my hustle to Emerald looked very different than my hustle after Emerald, and the fact that like I was going to do whatever it took to get there, and really it was for the benefit of my family. So while they did sacrifice in some areas, they've been able to benefit in other areas that we would have never been able to benefit in. So my hustle in the beginning was a hustle. My face was in my phone a lot, and I do wish I would have put it down a little bit more.
Yeah, it's good to have boundaries, but also there is something to, running for a season in your life, and, momentum loves speed. And so kind of the faster you go, it all compiles and you reach those goals faster. So like she said, as long as your family's on board and they understand and you have some boundaries, I mean, it's well worth it, I feel, because, I went Emerald in 15 months, that I hustled those 15 months. And that was just like a short period of time compared to, instead of dragging it out. So I feel like, it was definitely worth it.
Well, and I offer my kids, incentives too. So like I told them, I'm pushing for this $2,000 check, and my face is going to be in my phone for the next 2 months. And if I get that check, then you each get $50. And they were like, heck yeah, we are all in. Put your face in your phone, so I mean, they'll each get $50 whenever I get that check. And that's a big deal to them. So I think incentivizing your family and just making decisions together is really the most important. And like Autumn said, going after it whenever you need to. Oh, I have one really good tip about that too. One thing that, I don't even remember who told me this, but somebody told me, because whenever my phone would ding, I was like, like it ding, okay, I'm going to answer right now. People asking questions all the time. Well, one of the things that I realized is if you don't respond to the question that second, those people will often go find the answer themselves. And then a few minutes later, I'll get a message back that says, never mind, found my answer. And I thought that was crazy when the person told me that, but it's so true. It happens to me all the time. And so you don't have to answer every question right away. Leaving them for days on end is another thing, but you don't always have to answer something right away, and they might be able to fend for themselves a little better if you don't.
Yeah, go searching. What is your biggest team building tip? That's the next question.
Team building tip, I would say is, and this is kind of cliche, but I will say that it's true, is just to be your own rock star. Like, don't sit around and wait for your rock star to come. I know that's easier said than done, especially when you don't have someone running with you. But doing the things that you're asking your team to do. So setting an example for them and moving in the forward direction, and going out and getting those convention prizes, and going out and adding 3 ambassadors at least every single month, and getting at least one of them to silver the next month, and just really putting your best foot forward is going to make your team feel like, I want to be able to be like her. I want to do that too. Instead of being like, well, Vicki doesn't really do any of that anyway, so nothing, she doesn't expect it from me either.
Do we have any more questions? Anybody that like to type it out, or?
Yeah, or feel free to unmute yourself and show your face. No? Okay.
Maybe not.
I'm coming. I had to find the unmute.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
I brought my flag. I'm here. So my biggest problem right now is getting people to actually sign up. Like, I get yeses all the time. I get people that want one product here, one product there. And I follow up and I see them in the streets, but I, for some reason, cannot get them over the line. And I look at my potentials list, and it's just like a trove of people, but I don't know what it is. I've been bold. I've been, I've followed up. I just feel like I don't know. I'm missing some little element to get them over the line.
Okay, Lynn, do you use three-way messaging with your sponsor?
I just started doing that. I did that for the first time this week with Autumn because I have a breastfeeding mama that I didn't know the answers to. So she's been super helpful.
Okay, even if you do know the answer, I would say that three-way messages is what you're missing, if I had to guess, because and it's not necessarily the three-way message that you're missing, it's the third-party validation. So I don't know if you're married, but if you are, you've probably told your husband 1,000 times the same thing over and over and over again. And then someone else comes in who has influence over him or who sounds a little bit more intelligent, and they say the same thing, and he's like, oh my gosh, what a great idea. It's kind of the same sort of thing. So putting people in three-way messages. I see that Caroline's on here, and Caroline and I do this all the time. We're in three-way messages constantly, and it really does make a huge difference. And I know Jessica Smith's on here. She does that a lot too. Just putting people in those messages. And sometimes I tell my team not even to ask, like just say, like, I'm talking to Autumn and we're having a great conversation about Plexus, and she says that she's going to do it. And then 2 days later, I'm like, still hasn't done it. So then I'm going to message Autumn and I'm going to say, hey, Autumn, I was actually just talking to one of my best friends, Caroline. Caroline's my sponsor in this example. I was just talking to one of my best friends, Caroline, about you, and she wants to meet you over Facebook Messenger because she too used to struggle with XYZ. So I'm going to throw you all in a group message today. I'm not asking Autumn if she wants to. I'm just going to do it. And then Autumn's in a group message with Caroline, and Caroline's going to tell her how she struggled with XYZ too. And then all of a sudden Autumn's going to be like, done. Third party validation. I'm in.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the good thing about our company is that, we have people on the team that have health testimonies similar to maybe your potentials. So, I mean, there's, your upline, and then there's like sidelines too that'll be more than happy to step in and share what Plexus has done for them.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Y'all good?
Last call.
All right. The bar is closing.
Well, Vicki, I appreciate you coming on to share. I'm so glad that you came and joined us in Plexus, because I know for me, this journey would not be what it is without you as my friend. And
Agreed.
Yes. So.
Not that your journey is not the same without me. My journey is not the same without you. I mean, I'm really grateful for you too. And I love that we can all play off of each other's strengths and work together at this business. And what a beautiful thing is that, I'm not getting anything from your team for doing this, and you don't get anything when you train my team, but we love each other and we do this together because we want each other to be successful. So. Yep.
That's the beautiful thing. There's amazing friendships in this. So you guys don't give up. I hope you walk away from this training with more belief than you ever had in every aspect of this company you're a part of. So thanks so much for tuning in, everyone.